Welcome to Just a Minute on Eastern Sierra Now. I'm Alexander Taylor, and here's how it works. Every candidate gets the same 10 questions and exactly 1 minute to answer each. When the clock hits 0, we move on. It's fast, it's fair, and it's all about giving you a clear picture of the people asking for your vote. Make sure to subscribe to Eastern Sierra Now on YouTube and follow us on all platforms to stay informed on everything happening in our community. Let's get into it. Joining us now is Judge Stephen Place. Stephen, hi, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good, doing well. Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Judge Place has been serving as a judge since 2018 and has been part of the Inyo County community since 1996, where he began his legal career and has spent over 2 decades working in the field. He has raised his family here. His 2 daughters graduated from Bishop Union High School and are now continuing their education in college and graduate school. In his spare time, he enjoys exploring the mountains and deserts of Inyo County with his family, friends, and dog. Judge Stephen Place, welcome.
Thank you.
Absolutely. We can get right into these questions. Why did you choose to run for judge at this point in your career?
Well, my situation is a little different than the other candidates. So at this point in my career, I already am a judge. I've been a judge for 8 years. So I guess the question for me is, why do you want to continue doing it?
Totally.
I like the job. I really like the challenge. I like going to work, working with staff. I like the public service piece of doing the job. At this point in time, given my work history as judge, I feel like I have the confidence, skills, competence to do the job well, and I think it's a benefit to the community to hang on to me and for another 6 years. So I look forward to it.
Absolutely. What experiences in your legal career have best prepared you to serve as a judge in Inyo County?
All right. So similar to the last question, and it sounds kind of the experience that has helped me most is actually serving as judge. Being an attorney and being a judge are 2 very, very different things. It's a different role, different responsibilities in the courtroom, different things you need to prepare to do well. Just very, very different. The transition is, sometimes difficult, but I feel like having gone through that transition period and had years of service as judge, doing the job has effectively trained me to do the job better every day. And then second, competence within the different subject areas that we have to handle every day. I've now been doing the civil assignment for 4 years, the criminal assignment for 4 years. I've handled just about everything, so it's been a great preparation for continuing.
Absolutely. What do you see as the unique needs or challenges of the Inyo County court system?
So as far as challenges internally with the court, I would say that workload and some of the facilities issues have some complications and limitations on what we can do. Inyo County judges are typically some of the busiest in the state based on caseload. So there's only 2 of us. There's a lot to get done, so there's certain limitations there. And then as far as facilities, also not the most up-to-date facilities, so create some complications in scheduling. With regard to needs, always need more attorneys. With regard to experts who are needed, sometimes we're looking in the LA area, far away to get those. And then service providers in various case types, whether it's criminal, juvenile, family law. A lot of times we need to reach outside Inyo for those resources. It can be difficult, it can be expensive, time-consuming. So I would say those would be the needs.
Makes sense. How can a judge best serve a rural and geographically large community like ours?
No, it's difficult. I recognize that Independence, which just typically serves the south part of the county, is really a great distance from a lot of the communities. So to make it as easy as possible for users to do various things, we now have e-filing, so you don't have to go to the courthouse to file. You can file electronically. Appearances can be done remotely through Zoom. So you're not needing to drive 3 hours to the courthouse, especially for short matters. I can tell you for jury trials, what I always tried to do as a judge was make sure that every effort has been made to settle the case. I don't want everybody to travel on Monday morning to the courthouse in Independence only to find there's a need to continue or the case has been settled. So do everything we can to make sure that it's user-friendly and no unnecessary travel to the courthouse.
That makes sense. What does fairness in the courtroom mean to you in practice?
So fairness in the courtroom to me is really not related to the ruling itself. What one party might seem as to be fair, the other side sometimes may not see as fair. So I think fairness means really an opportunity to be heard. I want everybody who uses the court system to think the following things when they leave. One, they had their opportunity to be heard. The court considered the evidence. Second, their positions were evaluated and not dismissed. 3, any ruling that is made is clear. It's articulated in a way that makes sense. And even if you don't, or a person doesn't agree with it, they understand the logic. And then finally, that everybody has been treated fairly throughout the process. So once again, outcome, a party may not like the outcome, but I want to make sure that everybody who leaves feels that those 4 things have been true throughout their case.
That's a great answer. What qualities make someone an effective judge beyond legal knowledge?
So the term that's most commonly used is temperament, and that's I think the general label for not your skills, but how you use your skills. It's not what you do, it's how you do it, and the way you interact with people in the courtroom. It's more of a personality-based or style-based thing. Maybe not the best example, but TV personality Judge Judy has a specific style or temperament. I'm not sure that's what I'm aiming for, but it's an example of somebody doing a job in the way that they think is appropriate. So for me, I try to be patient, not too patient. I try to be informal, but not too formal, flexible, but predictable at the same time, and then calm and engaged. It's really a balance of everything that I think makes the courtroom a user-friendly space, but effective as well.
Yeah. How do you ensure your decisions remain fair and unbiased?
So judges have the obligation to act in cases and make decisions in cases where they're qualified and not biased. And obviously disqualify themselves in cases where there is a bias. A bias is really just a tendency to favor one side over the other without any consideration of the facts. So obviously that is to be avoided. Some of the most obvious examples would be if you had your best friend or relative appearing in court as a party, you would be biased in favor of that person. So you would disqualify yourself. But some of the other ones or disqualification factors are a little bit more tricky. If you've got a neighbor who might be a witness in the case, you have a store where somebody who works there, you see them, you see them in the gallery or they're a party. How comfortable are you making the right decision, even though you may see them in the public? So just make sure that you can be fair and impartial and not biased.
Checks out. How do you approach a situation where you've had to reflect on or learn from a difficult decision?
So with regards to difficult decisions, that is basically the job. That is the nature of the job. And when I reflect on difficult decisions, I guess I want to make sure that I was prepared for the court case or the hearing, knowing the facts and the law that applied. I want to make sure that when I look back, I was focused throughout the process because interesting things and unusual things and things you're not expecting happen all the time. You can't prejudge a case. And then looking back, I want to make sure that I was diligent in getting a ruling out in a timely way. So I want to make sure when I reflect on a difficult decision, I've done everything I can to make a good decision. Having said that, I probably leave work every day thinking about what I could do differently, what I could do better. So reflection, I think, also is an understanding that there's always room for improvement.
Great. What steps would you take to keep cases moving efficiently while still giving each one the attention it deserves?
So efficiency is a good thing. To me, it means doing the job thoroughly without cutting corners, but without using extra time and resources. So I think part of efficiency is defining really what that is. What I think is efficient might not seem efficient to the parties. What the parties individually think might not, what they think is efficient might not be efficient to the other side. What I like to do is a lot of case management, making sure that when cases are set for hearing, the parties are ready to go. There aren't witness problems, evidence problems, that everybody has a clear understanding of time limits, so that things move along, that time is not wasted. Having said that, there's always things that come up, need for more time, need to reschedule. You just have to do your best under those circumstances. But a lot of it is simply case management and making sure that to the best job you can, you're managing things in a way.
That's all the time we have for that one.
All right, thank you.
How would you make the court system more understandable and accessible for everyday people?
So this is actually a necessity of the job. There are many case types where parties appear self-represented a lot of the time, if not all the time. Domestic violence cases, civil harassment cases, family law cases, small claims cases. In all those circumstances, more often than not, the parties represent themselves. So typically what it requires is some time at the beginning of the hearing, explaining the process, explaining what is expected, explaining that it's okay that they're not attorneys. They can present things in a way that doesn't seem attorney-like, but seems professional at the same time. Sometimes it requires patience because people sometimes don't understand and need some guidance and management to act in a particular way. But every hearing is an opportunity to educate the self-represented litigants who are appearing in a particular hearing.
So now we'd like to give you a chance to go ahead and speak to the voters directly about your campaign.
On June 2nd, Inyo County voters will have the choice of voting for myself or Gerard Harvey. I do encourage the voters to vote for the candidate that they think is most well qualified for the job. Having done the job for 7, almost 8 years, what I can assure the voters of is that it is, being a judge, the most difficult, time-consuming, responsibility-heavy job I have ever had. And I think it goes without saying that the work that a judge does every day is consequential to everybody who lives in this county. So my advice or request of the voters is to make a choice in a very reasoned, logical, detailed way. I would encourage the voters to think of their vote as part of a application process and hiring process. If you were going to hire somebody to run your business and that person was going to make your business successful or not, the question is how much information would you want from a candidate? How much work would you do to make sure that the choice that you're making is the best possible choice? So I'd like voters to really be careful in their choice of who they vote for. So why would I encourage a voter to vote for me? I look at my campaign for judge as being my legal experience for 30 years. There's nothing that I'm going to say and do in these last couple of months leading up to the election that is any different. I'm not going to try to persuade anybody that who I am, what I am, is any different than what I've been for 30 years. So I do believe that my 30-year career has shown consistency, stability, and competence, so certainly that's one point I would like to make. With regard to getting appointed judge in 2018, it was a very detailed, thorough process where I had to provide writing samples, close to 100 personal and professional references that were contacted. I had to go through a couple of very difficult interviews, so it was a very, very detailed, thorough process. And once again, my hope is that voters look at this process, the election process, even though it's slightly different or very different, in the same way, asking for those types of things from the candidates. And then finally, I think the thing that separates me from Mr. Harvey is my 7, almost 8 years of experience doing the job. I don't have to promise anybody what I will do on day one. I've had day one. I've had almost 8 years of experience. I believe I have shown the confidence and competence to do the job. So for those reasons, I am hoping that voters will find that I am the most well qualified. And that's why I ask for everybody's vote on June 2nd.
Thanks for joining us on Just a Minute. At Eastern Sierra Now, our goal is to keep you informed, engaged, and connected to what matters most in our community. If you found this helpful, subscribe on YouTube and follow us across all platforms so you never miss an update. And remember, local elections matter. Be informed and be sure to vote. I'm Alexander Taylor. We'll see you next time.